10 o'clock. This is Fox 10 Talks. We just continue the information of the conversation for you to get going here in our 10 o'clock hour. And yeah, that is the question I think we all woke up wondering today. We're headed for a pretty big number, which, by the way, has changed over the course of the week. We're going to be checking in with our one and only Crystal Ortiz coming up in about 2 minutes here. She will answer that question. At one point, the answer to the question was 113, and it's gradually been bumped up to today. We're at 116. And, 116, you start to feel that heat. That's for sure. Celeste joins as well. We're all ready for it. We're going to get through it. People who have never maybe lived here before, this is their first summer. We have days like this every summer.
This is like Mother Nature welcoming you to the Arizona temperatures, to our Arizona summer, when we get a little stretch like this. But we're hardy people, Ron.
Oh, Celeste, the hardiest.
And some of us,
come on.
We have big hearts, and
true.
We're hardy, and we can handle the heat.
Yeah, Renee's got her sister in from New Mexico, and I don't want to call out people from New Mexico or some of the other states here in the West, but we are hardier. We put up with when we hit 122 several years ago, we proved we could do that. So, come on, 116, we got this.
We put up big numbers, Ron. Yeah. We come through.
Well, yeah, it's been actually a kind of a mild spring and summer so far.
Yeah, it has.
The other day, Crystal was in here, Celeste, it was while you were on break, but she said, I can't even remember the last time I said record high.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we're setting any records. We'll check with her in the next couple of minutes. But also coming up today on FTT, there was a seaplane that crashed, and the video really is quite stunning. If you've ever been up to the Seattle area, it's a popular way for people to get around, but this time it crashed and caught on fire right there on the water. Trenton has been working up a really unbelievable story about a sex predator who was finally captured after 32 years on the run. Wait till you hear this story that he's working up for us today here on Fox 10 Talks. It actually involves the guy hiding out in Ukraine.
Wow.
Of all places. And we got 5 budget travel tips from the folks at Lonely Planet. I love their travel guides, and now we're actually talking to one of the head honchos at Lonely Planet to get all that info for you. But the big story today, it's one and only 116. Are we still at 116, Crystal, or have we fudged numbers up or down a bit?
Still forecasting 116 today and tomorrow.
Okay.
So lucky
How close is
us.
that? What's the record? How close is that?
Today it would tie the record. Tomorrow the record's 119. So we'll miss the record tomorrow. But today we would tie it. Yeah, it's not 119. Yay!
Yeah, well, the glass half full, right? It's like we won't hit 119 tomorrow.
Right. Well, the setup, you're going to walk us through it and when it's finally going to break, at least kind of break. But the setup, I guess, is a gigantic high pressure that's like over a pretty big chunk of the southwest.
Yeah, and it's center pointed on us today, which is why today and tomorrow are the 2 hottest days of our forecast.
Yeah.
But overall, like you said, even like the quote-unquote relief, it's still going to be like pretty warm with the relief coming in several days. So there's the temperatures right now, which again, it's 10 a.m. in the morning.
It's crazy.
So it's already 105 outside. That's like kind of miserable, honestly. Just to try to, for folks that are thinking, oh, if I get out early, I can do a run. We only dropped to a low of 97 degrees today. So like even the early morning, get out early, like that's a little rough at 97. So we're at 86 in Prescott. We're at 90 in Sedona. And then we are in those 80s as well in Springerville and Show Low, which isn't bad, but for up there, that is pretty warm too for 10 a.m. in the morning. So these are all the extreme heat warnings that are in place for the Valley, parts of northwestern Pinal County, and western Arizona. Already went into effect yesterday. It lasts through Monday evening for temperatures in the 105 to 120 range.
Wow, when I saw that 120, I thought, are you kidding?
Isn't that wicked?
So that's a possibility.
Yeah,
not for us.
probably the Valley questionable, but down near like Gila Bend, areas that are kind of towards Yuma, you could see one of those 118s or 119s the next couple of days. So yeah, it's just hot all around. Southeastern Arizona, temperatures ranging from 100 to 112, and that is in effect started at 10 a.m., so 4 minutes ago, and it will last through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And then for the Grand Canyon, as well as Marble and Glen Canyons, started at 10 a.m. this morning, and it lasts through 8 o'clock Sunday evening for 105 to 114. For the Grand Canyon, that's below 4,000 feet. This is the time of year where they really just don't recommend people are doing the full hike up and down the canyon because it's just dangerously hot down at the base of the canyon. We just did that story, a couple of days ago about that girl who had he was a heat stroke that, I mean, God, she was in the hospital for a month, I think.
She went into kidney failure.
Scary.
It is not anything to mess around with.
No, absolutely not.
The one and only time that I was down at Phantom Ranch, we had rafted for several days. We were going to hike up out. They knock on your door, those little cabins, at 5 in the morning because they want you eating the breakfast and they want you on the trail by 6 a.m.
Wow.
It's the only way to do it.
Yeah. Wow. So I mentioned this a moment ago, but the morning temperature was 97 degrees so far because officially the climate report, once they do all the data analysis and make sure quality control wise it was good, won't come out until this evening. But it looks like our low was 97 this morning. The warmest morning low temperature of all time for Sky Harbor Airport, so since records, was 97 degrees, set back 3 years ago in July of 2023. So if this holds, we'll have tied for the warmest morning temperature. And I remember 3 years ago covering this because it was a big deal. We had crushed the previous record. I want to say it was 94 or something. So this is just so hot. And this is certainly an impact of our urban heat island, right? As the city gets bigger and we have more vehicles and concrete and metal, it holds the heat more easily overnight, and then it's harder to cool efficiently throughout the night. So that 97 degree temperature, not what you want to wake up to, but that's what we had this morning. And then you asked about this a second ago, but 116 to forecast today, tomorrow, compared to record, even on Sunday compared to record. We're not breaking a lot of records, but we are definitely in the territory of. Until Sunday, forecast is 110, and the record is 118 degrees. The reason the temperature slides down on Sunday is because we do shift to a little bit better monsoon pattern. So for today and tomorrow, best chances will be in the high country, northeastern Arizona, for there to be some scattered storm activity. It's going to be more spotty. It probably isn't going to be quite as strong as we've seen in the last couple of weeks, but still some storms will be up there. By Saturday, late day into the night, the pattern becomes a little more favorable. So by tomorrow evening, there is a chance of some stronger storms potentially making their way to the valley. Maybe some wind, blowing dust, possibly some pockets of heavy rain. And then that chance improves Sunday, Monday, and even into Tuesday potentially, as you can see on the map. Just more coverage, a little more strength to those storms possible by the time we get to that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But I mean, overall, it is going to be hot and it is going to be still humid as well. In fact, let me pull up that little humidity tracker to show you guys. One of my biggest concerns is, I mean, if you've grown up in the valley, you've been here long enough, even if you hear a 115, you're like, oh my gosh, that's horrible, but I'm still going to run my errands and do things outdoors.
Yeah.
The one thing to remember is that normally when we get those really high heat days, our humidity levels are a little lower than they're going to be these next few days. We just had so much moisture that even as we're drying out, it's still going to be in that noticeable to sticky category these next couple of days. And then we start climbing back towards being quite muggy again Sunday into Monday. So with this high heat and the humidity, it's just going to feel pretty gross outside, I think, these next couple of days. There's no better way to put it. I actually checked, and we've had 13 straight days where the dew point temperature has been above 60 degrees, which for us is quite high to have had for basically 2 straight weeks. One nice thing will be that we're a little breezy for the weekend. Tomorrow, those wind gusts will pick up. I mean, I say nice, but it's kind of the blow dryer effect in the valley. 15 to 25 mile per hour gusts and more like 30 to 35 miles per hour in Show Low. And then I'll just pop up that 10 days so you guys can see the temperature trend, because it does dip a little bit by Sunday as we see that storm chance start to kind of pick up. 20% chance Sunday, Monday. We get to 107 by Monday. Right. But then late next week and into the following weekend, we are right back to that 110 to 115 range. So,
and the crazy thing is we may not set a record in any of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hot. There's no doubt about it. 110 plus, you got to call it hot. But I guess we've seen worse. We've made it through previous summers. Mm-hmm. People panic.
I will say normally by this point in the year, people are starting to get generally annoyed with my presence. And I haven't gotten that yet this year. Good. So I'm just going to try to ride that wave as long as possible.
Well, by this time of year, I think last year, sometimes we'll see 117s,
sure.
Longer stretches of the 115s. I think Ron mentioned it too. We had a nice May, fairly mild June. And so this was just kind of
Catching up.
Yeah, we're catching up. That's a good way to put it.
You know, Crystal, thank you. It's always interesting. It's a love-hate when you get on a plane anywhere else in the country and the pilot says, by the way, the current temperature. You know, if it's wintertime, I had to get de-iced in Detroit
Yeah.
back in January. You're sitting there and the goose running
They should have
down the
brought you some
plane.
Detroit pizza while you waited.
That's exactly right. And I think he said the temp in the valley was something like 71 degrees. It was
Yeah.
like, get me
So
there.
nice.
This time of year, you get on.
Yeah.
By the way, did you hear what some of the folks were actually saying? This is pretty cool. We went out there to see what they were saying as they arrived back in the valley.
Well, I'm originally from Arizona, but I live in the St. Louis, Missouri area. So when I landed on Southwest and they said it was 109, to me that's not a big deal because I'm originally from Arizona, so I'm used to it.
I'm from San Jose, so it's quite different.
Getting off the plane here is a lot different. There you got a little humidity. Here it's just a straight blast of heat.
Washington is known for rain. It's cold too, and then landing here and instantly feeling that heat. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
So
there you go. You
cute.
got to be ready for it. And I love that First Lady. I live in St. Louis, but I used to live in the valley. No problem.
Yeah, when
109, I got it.
yeah, she's like, I grew up here. This is awesome. That is so great. Ron, I just want to give a big shout out here to Drake this morning.
Okay.
Drake Hampton. He is in the chat.
Yeah.
And I believe today we had his photo of the day on AZAM.
Okay.
And he doesn't chime in often on the chat, but he said his mom was watching.
Oh.
And so we welcome you both to Fox 10 Talks, FTT, we like to call it. And, it's nice to have you here.
We do. We should do that more here on the streaming show. Show off our photos of the day.
Yeah, kind of
a
sift
thing.
through them.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Hey, by the way, we really got to send out some kudos to the folks at ADOT. This time yesterday, we were talking about how all the storm damage has shut down the Apache Trail. Well, guess what? It's back open already, if you can believe it. Less than 24 hours. And, this is probably not the day to drive out there, but it is a challenging, even dangerous, but also spectacular drive. Look at ADOT. They had to kind of get through some of those areas that the rainwater and the flood washes kind of did a real number on. They said, Celeste, some areas got more than 8 inches of rain up there.
Unbelievable. And here's the thing, Ron, when we were initially sharing this story, we thought for sure it was going to be many weeks, if not maybe a couple months before they were able to get this back open again. But my goodness, let's give you a sneak peek of the mystery camera this morning. Oh, we got rain
Good
here.
luck with that rain.
We'll be right back.
I don't know about you, Celeste, but I am very curious to find out where today's mystery cam is. It's one of those rainy kind of days.
It really is. And in a very charming community. Look at those cool houses. They've got green grass. The grass looks real. It's not turf.
I like how the guy on the left has more of a classic-looking home, and the guy on the right, it looks like maybe he's done a remodel.
Yeah, maybe he's the guy that's buying in the neighborhood. And
Fixer-uppers. Hello, Chip and Joanna.
Maybe that's Chip and Joanna.
Would that not be hilarious if this was Waco?
We might have to go Texas today just for that reason, Ron.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, my goodness. And we're loving all the convo in the chat this morning. I think you guys are talking about hiking. M. Yaz says that Camelback Mountain is next level. Ron, you love a good hike.
Oh, I do. Not this time of year, that's for sure. But I was thinking about going up to the Rim Country this weekend. There's some beautiful hikes up there.
Yeah, there are.
The Horton Creek Trail.
Oh, is that the one where
it comes spring water right out of the rim?
Is that have a campground at the trailhead?
Yeah, very nearby. Yeah.
So we camped there with the kids when they were little. One of these sweet days, I'll have to show those photos. We just found them the other day. Gary and I were sifting through some photos.
Oh yeah,
and we're like, oh my gosh, this is the time when the babies were crying and we were in a tent in a campground.
That's what it's all about. Hey, we are going to take you now to the Great Northwest, up to the Puget Sound. Sam Chapman. Sam is with Fox 13, our sister station there in Seattle. And boy, there was a story that came in, Celeste, late yesterday about this seaplane. You see them take off and land constantly at Lake Union.
Absolutely.
You go a little further outside of the city. Sam, what actually happened?
Right. So there was one of those seaplanes, like you mentioned, a DHC-3 Otter, took off from South Lake Union yesterday late afternoon, and it was headed towards somewhere called Roach Harbor here in the San Juan Islands. Mm-hmm. Now, it should have landed there, but instead, the last we knew was it crashed around 5:15 p.m. very close by off the coast of a different island. And when the authorities got there, they rescued all 11 people on board from the water. And for some perspective, that plane only holds 12 people, crew included.
Wow. Sam, we're taking a look at the video of that wreckage, and what a fiery scene that was. I'm sure the investigation is ongoing. Do we have any indication maybe what the pilot may have been having some trouble with before the crash took place?
Well, you're right. The investigation is, in fact, just kind of getting started, and there's a ton of speculation going around right now, so we're trying to keep our viewers informed of what the latest confirmed details are. Right now, sadly, they are sparse. However, there is some speculation that weather may have played a part. We heard from some witnesses there on the ground near Susha Island where this happened that there was some inclement weather, some stormy weather right beforehand. And when we were looking at the flight path on FlightAware, we did see that there was some, at least some kind of precipitation going on a little bit nearby. And the pilot apparently took kind of the longer way around, so we're not entirely sure why. Those are all questions we're working to get the answers to.
We see that you're there with a sign behind you says Emergency and Trauma Center. What can you tell us about people who were injured in this crash?
Oh, that's right. So 4 people were injured, and of them, 2 people were sent here to Harborview Medical Center behind me in Seattle. That is a little ways away, and typically when people are sent to Harborview from so far out, it means that they were not doing too well, that they were in a very traumatic event. Now, we know that one person yesterday was in critical condition. We were not sure if that person was the same person to be transferred here to Harborview. That said, Harborview is the level 1 trauma center for the area, so it wouldn't surprise me if that were the case. But the people who were transferred here to Harborview, a man and a woman, both in their 20s, both, of course, aboard that flight. And happy to report that they are now in satisfactory condition.
Well, Sam, for those folks who are not familiar with the Pacific Northwest, I mean, there's lots of seaplanes, lots of boats, lots of people have boats, like people have bicycles. There's so many lakes up there in the Seattle area. What is the flight time from where they departed and where they were expected to land?
About 15 minutes or I'm sorry, 50 minutes. My photographer is actually far more of an aviation expert than I am, so I'm taking some cues from him behind the camera, just a little inside baseball. But yeah, about 50 minutes. It's not a long flight at all. And these planes, they fly rather low, so they don't have to get involved with the higher commercial jets like you might be able to hear flying above me right now.
Okay. Sam, thanks for your time, and we'll hope that those last couple of people in bad shape, that they do actually recover. Sam Chapman with Fox 13. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Pretty scary stuff. Have you been in a seaplane, Ron?
I have not been in a seaplane.
Gary and Kai took Trenton joins us now.
Hey guys, good morning.
Took a seaplane up from Seattle up to Alaska to do some fishing one summer. They did a couple summers.
Yeah.
And they took video of inside the plane.
It looks really fun, and thousands of them take off and land with no problems every day.
All the time.
Every
it
year,
happens
anyway.
all the time. And the frightening thing about it, though, is that it can be a rough ride. Because the weather in the Pacific Northwest is not always the best.
And when you land, it could be choppy.
It really,
right? Really
very
choppy.
choppy.
We have Trenton joining us now. Celeste, wait till you hear his story. He's been working on this here for a while.
Yeah.
But there is a fugitive from justice, Trenton, who managed to escape. And for more than 30 years, nobody knew where he was?
Yeah, and I've asked Arizona DPS about this with looking back in the record of, do they have a fugitive case that went on as long as this one did? They said, no, they don't. So from what we can tell, this may be the longest fugitive case in Arizona history.
Tell us about the guy and about the case.
So 1992, that's what these documents are taking us back to from Tucson PD. Daniel Brewster was accused of preying on children that were enrolled in his wife's preschool that they had, and also a daycare center. So this crime involved multiple children, including toddlers, and horrible things he was doing to them for multiple years that went on. Eventually, when he got caught, he was taken into custody in Tucson. This is, again, back in 92. Jury did find him guilty. And then when he was going to show up the day of his sentencing, that's when he fled from custody. The judge had let him out on bond for release to show up at the end to get the final assessment where he'd be. No one knew where he went. There were ideas that maybe he went to Mexico, then it was New Zealand, Australia, Canada, even the South. No one had any word of it. And those photos right there are showing when we finally found him last year near Kyiv, Ukraine.
Wow.
A war zone. Yeah, incredible. So the Ukrainian authorities, what they did, their cybersecurity investigators actually noticed some unusual traffic in the area for child sexual material that was happening near Kyiv. And when they traced back the IP address, etc., the digital clues, it came back to Daniel Brewster living there. So once they put him in the system with being an American, Interpol got involved, U.S. Marshals Service jumped on it, as well did the FBI.
Set up this sound for us, would you?
Yeah. So we did speak with last week for the first time one of his victims from the early 1990s and late 80s.
Wow.
Brave woman, Angela Dunson. She was able to tell her story for the first time, spoke with us at Fox 10, what it was like to confront him, but she also talked about the trauma that she was reliving.
I talked about stuff that I've never talked about. Even I do believe I didn't talk about it back in the 90s, about him locking me in his house and me having to actually try to figure out how to get out, right? Because I was not strong enough to unlock the deadbolt. I wasn't tall enough to open the door. So the only thing I could do was break the window. Nobody knows that happened except for me and him. And then I talked about the Mount Lemon trip, the closets at the daycare. I let him know exactly what he did to me that was never said in court. And, I have my voice back. So he did look at me at the end of that. After I read my statement, I told him, I am Angela Dunson, and I will never be silenced again. And I yelled it in the microphone to let it be known.
So tough right there. She's reliving, those moments. I mean, she mentioned just the memory that's in her head of not being tall enough to be able to reach the lock on the door to escape Brewster there. And Angela was vulnerable enough to tell me about her life afterward, of the trauma that her family went through, that she went through, and how it destroyed a lot of her life.
To be honest with you, I didn't think that he was ever going to get caught. I didn't think that I was ever going to get that closure. So I was kind of forced to have that closure. And then when they did catch him a year ago, like, it opened up so many wounds and so many things going on in my head that, like, I had to try to figure out how to navigate through that. I have a lot of healing to do. There's going to be a lot of healing in this whole process because it has brought up so much stuff. And all of my kids were in that court hearing, and my whole family. I had the whole courtroom full of family.
So it's incredible.
What a brave woman
to do that. Yeah. And Brewster did get 299 years in prison, so life sentence for sure. He won't get out. Now, we're still trying to untangle how exactly he did this. Per the prosecutors, what they showed, they didn't go into it really heavily, but they said the timeline, at least what they were able to corroborate, was, so he left in 92 from Arizona, went to Mexico first, and then he went to New Zealand for some time, then went to Australia, then about 5, 6, 7 years ago, went to Canada, was there for a little bit, and then went to Ukraine.
My goodness.
How does somebody do this after 9/11?
Well, and what were the circumstances surrounding him being able to get out on bond after a jury found him guilty of these crimes?
That's the question. Why did the judge do that back in 92 when he was a known predator to multiple children?
And found guilty.
Was there, found guilty.
And in the end, ends up in a war zone. I mean, the story's just unbelievable. Trenton, really good coverage.
We're still going to be working it, so I promise we'll have more.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, Celeste, it is time for a break. We are about to find out where it's cold and rainy today, because that ain't here.
That is for sure. Your mystery camera, throw your guesses in the chat. We'll be right back.
6:30. Welcome back. This is one of those. Can you hear me okay, Celeste? You got me there?
No.
Really? Okay, let me try this one. Hold on. Can you? Weird. Sometimes my buttons, I have to press them twice. Anyway.
Wow.
Okay.
Double punch.
So we have so many great guesses. Linda's in Missouri. Thomas is like, tell us where. Let's go. It's been 15 minutes. Thomas is like, pretty sure it's Tijuana.
Oh my goodness. The Low Philosophy says South Carolina.
Yeah.
And let's see. Linda Monter says Missouri. Louis Gonzalez, Texas. Let's see. Thomas Favela. Ron and I were just chatting about your comment, Thomas. Gordito slice of 7-layer Chompies chocolate cake.
Okay. Whatever that creation is, make it and post it, and we'll show it.
Yeah, no
That's
kidding.
amazing, Thomas.
All right. What are you going to go with, Ronald?
You know, it reminds me of my time in the Dakotas. Remember a couple of years ago I spent a whole week up there?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go North Dakota.
I'm going to go Texas.
All right.
Here's because we were talking about Waco, Texas earlier.
Sure.
Yeah, and Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Here we go.
It is Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Oh, well, let's go back
Yeah,
and
let's
take
go
a look.
back. Okay.
You know, remember Clayton in Casa Grande, one of our all-time great
yes, I do.
loyal followers? He moved to Oklahoma to be closer to his dad.
Oh.
And they love to fix up cars and that. And I'll see a post from him every now and then, but I better check on him, Celeste, because look at that intersection. It looks like it's starting to flood in that part of Oklahoma.
It's called Lake Guthrie. Is what it is, right in the middle of the road.
Right.
Yeah. And, here's the cool thing is that I've received, and I'm sure you have as well, Ron, and maybe you're watching from some other state, not Arizona, and some other country even, maybe not the United States. But we have a lot of viewers who just spend the winters in Arizona from their snowy cities back home.
Yep.
And they go back home to their cities, home with Chicago, Germany, wherever it may be. And they still watch on the Fox Local app because you can watch all the time, no matter where you are. You could be up in the space shuttle, Ron. You could be on the moon.
Really? We come in on the moon?
As long as
Are you
have,
double checking on that part, Celeste?
I'm guessing we have Wi-Fi in the shuttle.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We have a great interview all lined up for you right now. If you love Lonely Planet, you're going to love the next 10 minutes because we have Alex Howard here. He's a senior editorial director for Lonely Planet. Alex, good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Celeste claims that you can watch our show on the moon. Now, have you traveled up that far? I know you've hit a lot of places. I don't believe you've been in outer space yet, though, have you?
I haven't yet. It's on my list. I think I'm probably one of many who have the moon on our travel.
Good
well,
for you.
I mean, one thing you'll want to pack are your moon boots. I don't know if you've heard about those, but they're actually a real thing. They're snow boots called moon boots. You were actually tackling this whole idea. There, you have some new data from the U.S. Travel Association, and we're talking about traveling smarter. Let's talk about the first one you have here. Avoid peak season if you can.
Yeah, it's a really good way to save on travel if you can travel in the off season. My wife and I last October spent a week in Tuscany, and it was in October, so it was the shoulder season. We got a really good deal on a farm stay and got to spend more on what mattered, like food and experiences.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when it comes to specific tips that people can follow to save some money, because honestly, I mean, rental cars seem like they're a little higher, hotels are a little higher, but these airfares are sky high. Travel during the shoulder season makes sense, but if somebody's about to leave on their vacay and they still want to save, give us 3 or 4 more tips.
Yeah, so my top tips for saving on travel is first, be flexible. If you can be flexible on when your dates are, then you can maybe hit that off-season travel. Or if you really just need to prioritize what is most important to you. For my wife and I, it was a farm stay in Tuscany, and we got to prioritize food. Knowing what matters to you and your travel companions is really going to help bring more value out of your trip.
And so you also say your carry-on can be your best friend. Maybe if you can get everything in the carry-on?
But it seems like carry-ons have gotten so small. Have you noticed they've gotten smaller?
But I remember my wife and I, about 10 years ago, we made a trip. I'm trying to remember where it was, but it was overseas, and we did the whole thing via carry-on. It can be done.
Yeah, everything is starting to feel smaller in air travel these days.
Yeah, it is.
I'm a big proponent of putting everything in our carry-on because then you're saving on baggage fees. You can also just get right off the plane and go to your destination. You don't have to wait for the checked baggage to show up.
That's true.
Yeah. What about dining where... How do you find the hole in the walls or holes in the wall? Do you go to Yelp? Do you ask a local? What should you do?
Yeah, so 2 recommendations for dining. The first is I love a good grocery store, right? It's a new experience in a new destination. And the bonus is you can self-cater your own meal and save on restaurant costs there. The other tip that I have is to find those like local experiences or local recommendations. Ask the local at the front desk, or even better, check out our Lonely Planet guidebook for the best recommendations for places to eat.
You know, we were traveling somewhere not too long ago, and we went to the grocery store because I love to grocery shop. It's very nostalgic for me. But I wanted to see what they had in there. And you're right. It's almost, it could be a tourist destination, actually. It's a twofer.
Yeah.
Tourist destination, and you pick up some grub.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so here's another one of your tips is to stay in the burbs. Like, don't stay right where you need to be, but maybe a little bit outside of town. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a good tip. So, the balance really is knowing how much you might spend on transportation costs going into town. But really, if you are staying inside the city center, you're going to pay more on that accommodation rate. So you have to kind of assess how long is it going to take you to get from your sort of suburban accommodation into town versus if you just want to kind of walk out and start exploring right away.
And when you're online and you're booking your hotel, if you click on like the drop-down menu, you'll find out, especially for downtown hotels.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Parking is $55 a night?
Holy cow.
You go out in the suburbs, they may not even charge you for parking.
That's right. You got to be aware of those hidden costs, and just like baggage fees, there's parking, there's other hotel fees that can really add up.
You know, you have on here prioritize public transport, and I think that's a great thing to do. I have to say, as a female, sometimes it's a little scary though, because you feel like traveling in a subway in an unknown city. You know,
True.
Maybe you always take a +1, or you only travel during some of those busy times of the day in a subway that you're unfamiliar with. What are your thoughts on prioritizing that?
Yeah, that's why, I always tell people really prioritize what's most important to you and your traveling companions. If security and safety is something that you want to consider, then maybe a rental car is what you want to spend your money on. Some of my best travel experiences have been on public transport. My wife and I took a train ride in France. We grabbed a baguette, a wedge of cheese, and had an amazing meal.
That's so great. All right, let's talk some specific places. If people haven't booked their travel plans and they're like, I like what he's saying here, maybe October, go somewhere like that. But can you give us 2 or 3 countries where maybe the costs are low or the dollar goes a little further, anywhere in the world? What would be some of your picks?
Yeah, for sure. So it is really hard to beat Southeast Asia for daily travel costs. A place like Vietnam, you have amazing food, great historical and architectural experiences, and you're probably spending $20 to $40 per day. Airfare can eat up that travel cost, so you have to get a good deal on airfare. You mentioned October. My wife and I are planning a trip to Mallorca this October, and we're finding that's the shoulder season, so we're getting good deals on accommodation, and it's a really easy place to get around if you rent a car.
So where do you find your deals? Like when you sit down with your wife and you're, okay, honey, let's go, or babe, or whatever you call her, I call my husband, my lover sometimes, hey, honey. But when you guys sit down at the dinner table and you're thinking about your list of places, your bucket list for the next year, what are the websites you use, or how do you research some of these places to get the best deal and really at the best time of year?
Yeah, for sure. So we start off by deciding what kind of trip we want to create. Is it something that is important for our kids to learn a new experience, or do we just want to relax? And once we have that in mind, we actually go to Google Flights and we'll put in our travel dates with maybe some flexibility to get the best deal, and then just use that worldview to see what destinations are on offer.
Well, I have told my China story a couple of times here, but several years ago, I just could not believe you could get, maybe the costs have gone up a little bit since then. It was like in the late, like 2018, 2019, but you could get 5-star hotels for like $80, $90. It's quite incredible. And the food was very cheap and it's good, authentic. Obviously,
Did you have duck or something?
We had Peking duck in what they used to call Peking, Beijing. And it was so cheap. I mean, it really is. What are your overall thoughts on travel into China?
Yeah, China's a great value destination. I spent a lot of time. I taught English in China for a couple of years, and the travel dollar and the teaching dollar could really go a long way. The thing about China is you need to know kind of what you're getting into. You know the visa requirements, how to get around. So as long as you do your research in advance, it can be a really high value destination.
Love it, boy. We got a lot of good info out of these last 8 minutes. That's for sure.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Hey, Alex, thanks for your time. Hope you'll come see us again.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks so much.
Now we're well educated, Ron, to plan our next big trip.
Yeah, we are, with more tips for saving money. Question of the day. Here's our poll question. OpenAI said the other day, and it was almost weirdly like they were bragging about it, that their new model launched its own cyber attack on another company this week. And people were like, that it, quote, got out of its sandbox. So should there be some rollbacks here? 24% say no, the harms are overblown. 54% say yeah, Congress should pass at least some guardrails. And 22% say that's it, shut the whole thing down, AI, before it's too late.
All right, let's take a look at your numbers here. Can we refresh this? Because I think we have 2 votes.
We better do a refresh.
Okay, so anyways, we're going to have to go back to the newsroom to do this apparently. But, well, here are your options on YouTube. And there's a link. Actually, I'm going to click on the link on YouTube and I'll give you these numbers real time.
Very nice.
If you want to come back to us, Ron.
Okay.
Let's read these numbers. So we've got 746 votes right now.
All right.
Right now, here's a question for you. OpenAI says its new model broke out and launched a cyber attack this week. Should it be rolled back? 7% say no. 59% say yes. So right now, you have the leading number of 59%. 35% say yes, stop it before it's too late. But the winning choice on YouTube is matching the winning choice for all of you who are voting on television, which is quite rare. We see that maybe a few times a month.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so coming up here in the next minute or two, Abby is working the Abby cam. We get into comments. Every day these poll questions, Celeste.
Oh, my gosh.
It's coming up. right, everybody, welcome back. You know, it is, by the way, we're still waiting for the kinds of comments. We have a certain high standard.
We do.
And so far, it's been more of a low standard type of comment. On YouTube, you never know. You never know.
We're not talking about the chat box. You guys are winners all the time. We're talking specifically about the poll question comments.
Oh, no. The chat box is the best thing that's ever been done on this show.
It's the best thing that's ever been invented, Ron.
Our YouTube comments are coming in kind of slow today. Celeste, it's National Cousins Day.
I know.
Do you have a cousin that you want to salute, to mention because you love them so much?
I do.
Who are they? Let's talk.
So this is my cousin Stephanie.
Okay.
I'm the one in the hat.
Of course.
She lived.
Look at how chill you look. Celeste, you look great in all settings.
Thank you, my friend. We are hiking partners. About a year ago, she moved to San Jose. She works for NVIDIA, actually.
Really?
Yeah, she worked for Intel here in the Valley, and we grew up together. I'm only 6 days older, so we always grew up more like sisters.
Oh, nice.
Our moms are sisters as well.
Is this a hike you went on together?
This was a hike we went on together. We hiked South Mountain prolifically, and then we did Payesto and Camelback once in a while as well. And so she's like a sister to me. I have my sister, my blood biological sister.
Right.
But my cousin Stephanie, we grew up together. My nana would take care of all of us together.
Oh, cousin time like that is
so
just the best.
amazing.
And I think that sometimes we do hang out as kids and then we sort of lose touch. Now, you have another pick, right?
I do. So this was one of our first hikes that we went on. This is years ago, actually, and this was at Payesto Peak. This is what started. It was a sunset hike, and this is what kind of started our hiking trend. And, one thing that has been cool, I don't know if in the Hispanic culture, we all always live next to each other.
Okay.
My grandma lived next to her sister, and on the other side of their home was my tata's cousin. Okay. And then one aunt lived across the street from my uncle. And then another aunt lived one street down from my other aunt. Yeah. So Stephanie, she lived in our neighborhood for about 12 years.
Oh, how great.
And then she moved closer. She lived 3 houses down.
Yeah.
So she lived in our neighborhood at first, like maybe a few blocks away. Then she moved 3 houses down, and we would always walk together and talk a lot. And then she, of course, had to move for work. But our family's so close.
Yeah.
And I think that's what family should be.
It's so great. I mean, I think about my cousins, and I'm trying to think where they all are. One's in Lewiston, Idaho.
Yeah.
One is over on the Olympic Peninsula of Washington. One is back in West Virginia. Another one runs an apple orchard up near the Canadian. We're so spread out.
Yeah.
But I will just say, and I hope he's watching right now on National Cousins Day, hold on. Hold on. All right. I'm going to go to Graphics 3 Cousins here.
Oh, we're waiting.
Yeah.
We'll
no
wait on
worries.
this. Oh, Ron.
So this is my cousin Cammie.
Mm-hmm.
And just back in May, we went up to see, hold on. There she is. My Aunt Jeannie. So her mom is Jeannie. My mom's 2 sisters are still with us. Jeannie is 90. Her sister Jessie is 92. We went out for a steak dinner. And then after that, we went to DQ because we decided their cones are better than any of the desserts at the restaurant.
You know what? I have to agree with you. Ron, what a blessing. They are 90 and 92.
Yes. And this is the thing about the travel segment we just did. Sometimes this trip that Renee and I made back in May, it was mostly just to reconnect with family. So I'm going to try to punch up the next one here. Here we go.
Oh.
This, you guys have heard me talk about my beloved cousin, Mike.
Hi, cousin Mike.
And so there he is. And we just had the greatest time. He's just the funniest guy. He's got the greatest sense of humor. Ty and Anita are doing everything they can to get in on this segment. Anyway, Mike, love ya. It was so great. So he lives in Yakima. But Celeste, here's the thing. When you travel to go see your cousins,
yeah.
right? Like Cammie, like I just showed you, or Mike. I had heard a story that we have about halfway between those 2 cities, Spokane and Yakima, on kind of a lonely stretch of road, that we have a road named after our family.
Wow, Hoon?
Let's just see if we actually have it.
Hoonerville.
Ready? Hoon Road, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this your family plot?
This is where my grandpa homesteaded like 100 years ago.
Oh my God.
And
this
so
is
it's
so great.
I'm sure nobody's even heard of it. There's a little town between Spokane and Yakima called Connell, and he was a farmer. out there, and he was the only guy. It was a lonely stretch of wheat field out there, so they named the road after him, Hoon Road. But this is what you kind of run into if you spend some travel time with your family.
So he was growing wheat.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
The only problem was he was what they call a dry wheat farmer, and you got to have the weather cooperate. And some years it wasn't, so it was tough, and they lost the farm. But that's a story a lot of people went through back in the old days.
You're going to have to head back there. We need a photo of you, like, pointing to the sign, Hoon Road, right?
Sure. So anyway, after all those years, we finally got to see it. If you guys have a cousin that you want us to salute, your favorite cousin,
throw their name in the chat box.
Yeah.
We'll read their name out loud, and they'll be on TV.
Or maybe there's a cousin that you want to shape up a little bit. We could maybe call them out.
If you want to say what maybe transpired between the two of you. Listen to this. Unique Jules, great name, by the way, says, my mom is 95. I'm lucky.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's so great.
Got to spend that time with those 90-year-olds.
Yeah, right. So much wisdom.
Yes.
And life experience. Catherine King, good morning to you. Thank you for joining. It's been a little bit, I think, since we've heard from you in the chat. Thomas Favla, a little philosophy. Nice to see you. Oh, her cousin Thomas says his cousin Joselle. Good morning to cousin Joselle today.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, there's our whole cornucopia of cousins. And thanks for, if any of you guys do want to mention your cousins, we would love it. Celeste, your story of the day I thought was excellent today. These are the sleep habits that can really put the kibosh on your relationship.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything that when you're asleep it bothers you? Snoring, playing footsie, stealing the covers?
I would say I'm more the offender than the offendee.
Do you take the blanket?
There is some of that on Renee's part, I'll just say. But for me, I know I'm a snorer.
Well, here's the thing. I think that a lot of people. Gary looked at me the other day. He's like, "You snore." I'm like, "No, I don't." He's like, "Actually, sometimes you do." I'm like, "No, I don't."
Right.
Because we don't really know what we do when we're sleeping, so we have to trust the person that's actually telling us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know it.
So let me get to the details on this. A Talker research survey conducted for Avocado Mattress came out with some interesting details when it comes to about you and your significant other in bed.
Okay.
42% said the most annoying thing a partner could do was snore.
Yeah.
Okay. 30% said it was tossing and turning. 27% said it was stealing the covers, and 24% said it was watching TV. Some people need the television to go to sleep.
That's true.
That's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
They need that background noise.
Yep.
18% said it was getting up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. The good news, though, this is kind of like the sweet silver lining. 64% of respondents said they are willing to put up with a partner's annoying sleep habit because they love them.
Okay, that's good. But that also means there's almost 40% who are no longer willing to put up with it and are on their way out the door.
Yeah, so true.
All right,
36% of you.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, this is pretty cool because it was on this day in history. Ready, Celeste? Here we go. Nope. I'm going to roll VO6 now, Bri, on this day in history.
Oh, the moon?
That the moon landing was about a week ago, but it was on this day, July 24th, that the astronauts splashed down in the Pacific. And the thing that was so interesting about it, Celeste, it was the first time any human being had ever been to the moon. And they really were not all that sure about, how it was all going to work. So they made them get in a trailer and actually stay in that trailer, I think, for like 2 weeks, just to make sure that nobody had any moon germs on them.
Oh, my
They were
gosh.
actually worried about moon germs. And so...
moon germs?
Yeah.
Like viruses or something?
Yeah, well, more like biological, things that we weren't even aware of. I mean, this is back in the 60s.
This is like space bugs.
So they took it seriously. I mean, because we didn't know for sure if there were any, not little aliens running around, but, that there could be some sort of biological agents. So they kept them in a little trailer after they splashed down. It was called the Mobile Quarantine Facility. And then they went into this Airstream trailer, and I think they had to... Oh, you know what? Now I'm looking for the details. I thought they were in there for a few days. They kept them in that in that trailer for 21 days.
Wow, it's a long time.
21 days. They're like, let us out.
What did they? Maybe they played video games. What do you think they did in there?
There weren't a lot of really good ones back in the 60s.
Maybe they played what was back around then? Tetris? I don't know. What was the first video game and when was it invented?
I think Tetris was, and Ms. Pac-Man I think was right.
Yes.
No, Ms.
I love
Pac-Man
Ms.
was more like
Pac-Man.
in the 70s. But anyway. Okay, so that was on this day in history. Now, Celeste, before we say our goodbyes, we have a couple of animal stories because I know you love them. Ready? Did you hear about the bear that chased the customers right out of the store? Right, look at this. Look at these people. Hey, there's a bear in that store. Get out. Look, here he comes.
Where is this?
Okay, so this is in Tennessee.
In Tennessee, they've got bears roaming the grocery store parking lot.
People could be heard screaming as they rush to their cars for safety. Oh, look at that bear is like not giving up. He's on the other side of that van.
Well, look at the person in that van. I'm
I
surprised
know.
they didn't jump in.
She's like, honey, close the door. Well, let's get out of here.
Oh, and that's a really big, that's a good-sized bear.
It really is, but I think it's
Holy cannoli.
It's the first part where you just literally look at that parking lot. You're running for your lives. The bear's kind of slow moving, doesn't seem to present a big problem.
Oh my gosh.
But they say eventually, why did the bear escape the grocery store?
There was
to
porridge.
cross the street.
Oh, I was going to say there's porridge.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, all right. One last one, real quick. We'll squeeze it in. One of his first days on the job in Florida, the new deputy, the rookie. He confronted an alligator. Yeah, he had a gator. They say gator hissing.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. We're about to see the gator.
It was in the trash can?
Yep. And there he is. He's like, "You're not going anywhere, pal. I got you.
Oh my
I got you
gosh.
collared." And here's the takedown. What do they use? Like a little leash set up there?
It looks like a little clamp with a leash on a clamp on the end or something.
Well, like I said, when my
it shut
sister
the
moved to Florida, the realtor said, if you see a body of water, even a little pond,
Yeah.
assume there's a gator in it.
And then he
They're
tapes the
everywhere.
mouth shut.
Wow.
But you can probably get hurt from the tail too, just swishing around like that. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great Friday. See you Monday.
Hi. Welcome in.
Thanks for having me.
It's always a little crazy, right?
Right. We're just coming from our meeting. We come and sit down.
I know. And you just came from the drive-thru.
Yes, I did.
How
Oh my
was
gosh,
it?
that was so much fun. Eat Up a Drive-In. It's so much fun. They have great food. You can get a salad through the drive-thru. That's always good. And
I
it's
love
like a
that
fresh
option.
one.
I was listening to your hits, I swear, but I was also working on weather. Did he talk about, because they had a fire, right?
Yes.
Did he talk about that?
We didn't talk about it on air.
Okay.
But yeah, they had a fire. I think it was last April is what it was.
And now they're open again.
And now they're open.
They
It's
have great
quick.
food. Like, I
Yeah.
used to go there. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
so good. And yeah, most of the damage was because of the sprinklers, less from the fire. But
Oh,
they're up
right.
and
It's the
running.
water damage, yeah.
Celebrating National Drive-Thru.
Yeah, well, Annalisa and Crystal joining us today, and Crystal obviously going to talk about this extreme heat. The numbers are tough. Get ready. This is your first summer
I
here.
know.
my
Well,
God.
this is had the full.
This is it.
Yet.
Yeah, I will say my 4:30 a.m. live shot this morning. We were outside the tabulation center. It felt like
Bless you.
Sorry.
It felt like 100 degrees. Like I was like, this is really hot, and then I heard your weather in my ear saying the feels like temperature is triple digits at 4:30 a.m.
Yes, it was wild how warm it was this morning. I came and looked, as I'm forecasting, I was like, here it is.
When you say that feels like temperature, what's the difference between that and what it really is outside?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because my graphics are going to show
Want me
the
to pull
numbers.
those up?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
So you've got your real air temperature, and then you've got what's called like a feels like or a heat index temperature. That's how the body perceives the temperature based off of other elements. So in winter, a feels like temperature is based off of how your body perceives to any like bare skin, like wind impact to the cold air on you. And then in summer, it has to do with the humidity levels. So if it's more humid, your body perceives it as even hotter because it's harder for your body to naturally cool itself with like its sweating mechanism. The reason being that if you already have a lot of moisture in the air, then the moisture that your body sweats out on your skin doesn't evaporate off and help cool you as fast. So that's what the heat index or feels like temperature is. So with that in mind, we're at 106 right now at Phoenix Sky Harbor. We're at 91 in Payson. We're at 109 in Bullhead City. We're at 111 at Lake Havasu.
It's not even noon.
It's not even noon, yeah. And these temperatures are just wild. So then we look at the dew point temp. I'm just going to show Phoenix's, but you can get the idea that pretty much across the map, it's quite humid still. We're at 61 degree dew point. For us, anything like 55 plus, you notice, I feel like, in the valley, and we're still firmly in the 60s. So definitely it is still sticky out there. And then this is the heat indices or feels like temperatures as a result. And you can see Phoenix has a 108. A lot of spots are about the same right now because the dew point is not so exceptionally high, but it does feel a couple degrees warmer than it actually is out there in the valley currently because of how humid it is. So the reason for the heat and the struggle is this dome of high pressure that's centered really right on top of us at this point and will be throughout the day today and into the start of tomorrow. Now, as the day goes on tomorrow, it's going to start to depart off to the northeast a little bit, like slowly it's going to depart. So the temperature is still quite hot, but it's starting to move in a more favorable location for monsoonal moisture to wrap around the high, pull off the Gulf, move up towards Arizona. So we actually, while we're quite dry today and still fairly dry tomorrow, by tomorrow evening and especially by Sunday, we start to up our moisture levels, and that will increase our storm chances. And then as you can see, Sunday and Monday, this thing doesn't really move much. So we will still be hot, but we won't be quite as hot because those storm chances will start to increase. The extreme heat alert's in place for like half the state, for the valley, for parts of Pinell County, for western Arizona, now through Monday evening. Could see temperatures up to 120 in a few spots around, I would say generally more like western Arizona, where you're seeing already the 111s today at 11 a.m. Then in southeastern Arizona, when I said 120,
Sorry, that is
her
crazy.
mouth like actually fell open.
is it not?
Like her jaw fell down.
Don't not move and stay right there, and then you say 120.
That was such a visceral reaction. So southeastern Arizona, 100 to like 112 or so. And then take a look at northern Arizona in the Grand Canyon, Glen Marble Canyon area. And you can see that we've got that potential of like 105 to 114 through Sunday. The alert is in place below 4,000 feet. So this is the time of year where they really say like you should not be hiking down to the base of the canyon. Like you can do the top. It's a little more comfortable. Even then you got to be really smart. But overall temperatures are very, very hot these next few days. So for the valley, 116 today and tomorrow, 110 Sunday. Looks like we could tie the record today. And then we're pretty close, but not breaking for your Saturday and Sunday forecast. And then I just wanted to quickly point out that while we do have the heat, the high country does still have a chance of a few spotty showers and storms today, mostly north and eastern Arizona. Try to move into Pinell County, but I think they'll fizzle before they could get to the valley today. Then tomorrow, same thing. We get those storms in the afternoon, but this time around, they might be able to collapse tomorrow night in towards the valley by Saturday evening. So we'll watch for
When
the
we're
storm audiences.
Meeting those records, that's what really scares me.
That is so scary.
Is it just going to keep going? You know?
The good news is on the 10-day, there's nothing above this 116 forecast. So I don't have any like 117s, 18s, 19s, which we know is possible, but it's not on the 10-day. So let's just try to keep that ball rolling.
Keep calm and
carry
stay
on.
inside.
Yes.
We have
And
a
stay inside.
weather-related guest if you want to stay.
Sure,
if you have to go, no problem. But really quickly, let's do what you're reading. We just kind of want to get through what you guys are checking out on the Fox 10 website. So our first story, and let me see if I can find it. You guys, help me out here. There we go. No. Second page. It's not on the second page. Found it. Ty hits all the buttons, and yesterday I was practicing, and today I didn't do so well, right?
No.
You want to take this one?
It's always a lot.
Yeah.
So, this one, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. A man who used his own safety rewards card after swiping SUV keys from the store's break room and then torched the car. This is all according to Phoenix Police. But yeah, Phoenix Police say, and they arrested 31-year-old Blake Hoff for what they say stealing an employee's SUV keys from a Safeway break room and then torching the vehicle hours later. Detectives identified him after looking at some security camera footage shown from the Safeway area and from the phone number of that rewards number.
Okay, number 2, you guys. Arizona car wash boss is accused, there we go, of, preying on a 17-year-old worker. He's already on probation for child sex abuse. He's 27, she's 17. They ended up having relations in the back of the car to get back at her boyfriend. So a little bit of a mess there. Number 3, what you're reading. A bear dies after getting stranded on a utility pole in Mexico. So scary, right?
Yeah, in New Mexico, actually. So just over to the side, which is so sad. I know a lot of people were talking about this online.
Yeah.
Just a really sad ending for the bear.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I think we can get, we've got the 2 of us, but we'll see if we can get 3. This is Shannon Roberts. Hi, Shannon.
Good morning.
Thanks for your patience. You run an Instagram page called Shannon in Arizona, and you posted an image. I'm going to pop it up for everyone to look at really quick. But you posted an image of Oak Creek last weekend, and I thought it was really, really startling.
Because
Oak Creek is closed. Actually, this was taken just 2 hours before the closure began. So I walked down there. I had just come from a lacrosse clinic in Sedona. I live locally, and I wanted to check it out. And I was shocked. What you can't see in the video, it actually smelled like forest fire down there. But you can even see in the video where the creek crested and the water line from where all of that ash and debris were.
Wow, it was such a startling image. What went through your mind when you saw that and came across it?
Well, all I could think of is I guess we're not coming back to the creek this summer. And then the closure happened about 2 hours later. And that's going to be lifted around August 3rd. I would suggest not going to the creek at all this summer. I am also a volunteer on the board of directors with Oak Creek Watershed Council, so I wasn't completely surprised. We had talked about it in some of our meetings because we do employ the scientists that go and test the waters. So it was a little startling, especially the smell and how much debris and how dark the water was.
And that smell is coming from the pocket fire, I believe, and some of the recovery efforts up there. Is that right?
And Shannon, our meteorologist, is joining us. I'm trying to get everybody up on one camera. My fault because I added her last minute. But you were tracking those storms, and we were talking about that burn scar.
Yeah, I'm curious, Shannon, is there discussion of what the plan is moving forward with the possibility of more burn scar flooding in the months to come as the monsoon may even ramp up with tropical moisture?
Yes, that is the thought, and I believe that's why they chose to close Oak Creek for the foreseeable future, because they're thinking that because of the burn, it's going to push all of this debris, all of this ash, the fire retardant is going to get into the creek and not only affect the creek with flash flooding, but also a lot of the fish might die. That might also create some hazardous conditions for people who would like to recreate in the creek. So they're suggesting not to recreate in the creek for the foreseeable future, and I think that's a really good suggestion. There's also some amazing pools and other swimming holes around Sedona that haven't been affected by the pocket fire, like Wet Beaver, the Verde River, Fossil Creek, which you just have to check for monsoon conditions, but those are all still open. It's primarily West Fork and Oak Creek that are affected by the pocket fire.
West Fork is my favorite. That is my
Me too.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
my
man.
absolute favorite trail. Have you ever seen anything like this? I don't know how long you've been up there covering it, but have you ever seen it get like this?
I've lived in the Sedona area for about 12 years. I have never seen anything like this before. My husband's a longtime born and raised Arizonan. He's never seen anything like it before. So we're all pretty shocked.
Yeah. And then
But I will say this, Sedona's open. There's so many amazing trails that are open in Sedona. And I was just out hiking this morning and it's beautiful. So don't let that be a reason not to come visit.
Absolutely.
Sedona's still beautiful as ever.
Yeah, I feel like there's just those things to know before you go, how to stay safe, what areas to avoid, especially, and just respecting the recovery efforts happening. And it's still open.
Absolutely.
All right, how do people find you?
Shan.in.az on Instagram, or follow Oak Creek Watershed Council. We need your donations now more than ever. So if you have it in your heart to donate, we will be deploying the scientists and the people who are help cleaning up Oak Creek from the pocket fire.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Ladies.
Thank you. Those were startling images. When I saw them last week, I reached out to her because I thought we really needed to talk about that. I've never seen it in all my time here.
And I think especially here when we're a little bit further away, we talk and we cover the fire, but then to also see the aftermath.
Okay, guys, it's time for our absolute favorite segment of this half hour. What year was it? We have the animation rolling, and the question is... which year did Pac-Man debut?
I have no
clue either.
1981.
I was going to say 84 would be my
God,
guess.
I was going to go like way earlier.
Way earlier than that?
Like 1970.
Okay, last time I was on, I did the Pinterest one and I got it right.
You
So I have a
did. You did. Yeah.
I'm going to go 81.
81. I think it's earlier than 84, but... I'm going to stick with 84 because that was my guess.
And I just went like crazy early.
Okay. So everyone at home, you know the rules. No Googling, no cheating. Which year did Pac-Man debut? Chew on that. We'll be right back. 11:15. What year was it? Which year did Pac-Man debut? I guessed 84.
I guessed 1981.
And I went 1970. I was like, I'm going to go very early.
Crystal, you were only off by a decade. Congratulations on Elisa.
On Elisa.
1980, Pac-Man. Let me see.
I was so close.
Wait, and you said you got the last one you did, right?
Pinterest. Our last one was, when did Pinterest debut or launch? I think I said 2013 because I remember being in high school, and it was right. And then this was a year off, but
well, we had some really good guesses. We had 1980, we had 1974 from Linda, we had Outlaw Dynamo 164.
There was a couple
1980.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody said before or after the E.T. movie. It's funny that that's like a marker for people.
Oh.
Wait, but when did E.T. come out then?
I couldn't even tell you.
I mean, I remember it.
Drew Barrymore was just
I'm going to say 84 on E.T. 82.
82. Okay.
So it did not.
I don't know my 80s well.
I know. What a time.
Now, was it Pac-Man for you guys or Miss Pac-Man? Because when I discovered Miss Pac-Man with the bow, forget it.
Yeah. I just remember the games, like they'd be at a restaurant or something, and you'd be like, "Please, Mom, please let me play this."
Like a table.
The table
game?
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they still have some cool like breweries and stuff who have those arcade games. That's always really fun.
Okay. Well, you guys did really well. I'm very, very.
Well, I mean, not me, but you guys did pretty
really close.
Yeah, you know. Okay, we have another guest, you guys, that we want to introduce you to. Hi, Kimberlie. Kimberlie Yee, not the Kimberlie running for office.
No.
So we wanted to talk about back to school and a very important backpack drive you guys have coming up. Introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, I'm Kim, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Prime Roots, and we make deli meats, so your lunchbox classics and favorites, without any of the nitrates or preservatives.
Okay, I love that because I'm
do
always
too.
thinking about that in the grocery store when I want to get something with protein, but I do get scared about what's put in the processed meat. So just talk to us about how this kind of came to be for you.
So we make the only pregnancy-safe deli meats on the market also. So all of our products are actually made from whole food proteins from mushrooms. And so if you're looking for a lower cholesterol option, lower sodium, but still has a great salty taste, we're a great option. So I started the company because I'm a proud flexitarian, so someone who, likes to eat meat, but wants to reduce their meat consumption for health reasons, environmental reasons. There's lots of reasons why. And so I started the company to really make products that look, feel, taste the part, and actually are really good for you.
So specifically what's happening in Chandler is that we have the Arizona's new Healthy Schools Act that has been passed. And the law prohibits public schools from serving food containing certain synthetic dyes and other additives. And so this is what a lot of people would consider, Kimberlie, a really good option because you want the kids to be healthy, but they want that bologna sandwich. They want that traditional salami sandwich. And sometimes it's hard for mom and dad to say, no, you can't have it.
Exactly. And that's where we come in because, there are also a lot of other school districts like New York City, they've banned nitrates, which are a major part of deli meats. And not in Arizona, but in many other parts that's banned, which I think is actually a good thing because nitrates are a cause of cancer. And we're feeding that to our kids every single day going to school. So I think that the rules are great to help parents understand that there are a lot of risks in what we're feeding our kids and just heighten awareness around artificial additives and preservatives. And it's important to have solutions. So that's where we come in.
Yeah, and just, if people do want to make their kids lunch and include healthier options like what you offer, where can they find some of your products?
So you can find us in grocery stores and also in restaurants. We'll have national distribution in the fall for back to school, so we'll be a lot more available then.
Okay, maybe a silly question, but we have vegetarian type, let's say hamburgers that are supposed to taste like meat, and some people love them, some people hate them. How does your product taste? I mean, what is the reaction that you're getting, especially from the kiddos, because they're really, really picky. They're very picky. They want the real deal.
Absolutely. And we test with kids, we test with hardcore carnivores. We didn't launch any of our products for 5 years, so we were just in development. So my mom's a chef, so like really prioritize the taste of the products. But in all of our taste panels, over 50% of meat eaters, blindfolded, like eating meat side by side with our products, actually chose our products. So really high bar. We've won international competitions side by side with meat. It is another form of meat. It's just, without the nitrates, without the preservatives, additives, really kids can't tell. And when you're thinking about deli meat specifically, people don't really know what even goes into deli meats. It's kind of like pink slime. There's so much preservatives, additives, like all the stuff that if you read the label, you're like, what is all this? Right. If you read our ingredient list, you'll be like, wait, I have like almost all these ingredients in my kitchen and I know what these things are. So it's actually a lot better than a conventional deli meat, which is why we've kind of started where we started.
I know you mentioned your mom's a chef, but how long did it take you guys? Because there's always a lot of trial and error with new products, new dishes. How long did it take you guys to get these recipes down to where you could actually sell it in the store and people would buy it?
So over 5 years of development and just making sure that we make all the textures, the taste, and making sure that it resonates with, everyone, kids, people who love deli meats, people who don't like deli meats. So really it's loved by everyone. We say we're made by meat eaters for all eaters.
Really fast, because I know you said, we keep saying deli meats, but what are like 3 of your main ones? Turkey,
ham, turkey, salami, and our tagline is "Killer taste that won't kill you."
Oh,
that's a good one.
Well, a lot of people.
I mean, it'd be fun to do a taste test. Like we've done a lot where it's like
you should have sent us some.
You really can't tell.
Next time, come in person. Absolutely.
I will close our eyes and taste, and that'd be really fun.
I imagine the goal is maybe get this product in school, so they're making their sandwiches with something a little bit healthier.
We do work with a few school districts where the parents have actually, we've come in and the parents have lobbied, hey, let's just have this be the deli meat because I don't want my kids eating the stuff with the preservatives in it.
No. Okay, how do people find you guys one more time?
So if you go to primeroots.com, you can go to our store locator. And we have availability there and a lot more coming in for back to school as well.
Primemeats.com. Thanks.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is so fun.
Yeah. Appreciate it. There are always people out there looking for ways to make it better, healthier, easier.
And it's really crazy. Some of the things that you think should be easy, like deli meats, actually have a lot of stuff in them. So it's really cool to find a solution.
I never, ever thought about it because I think growing up, I'll tell you, we would go to the Polish delis in Chicago growing up. And my mom and dad would, and actually most of my family, would get their deli meats for the week there. And I guess that would be healthier because they were...
I feel like that's legit.
Right.
Like, real deal.
It was legit, and it's different, and I never really realized why or thought about it until I had, like, the Oscar Mayer bologna. I'm like, no, this is what I want, because it tasted so much different.
Yeah.
But, I mean, everyone is becoming so much more health conscious and trying to, get rid of those preservatives because there's so much in our food.
Yeah, even, and just, like, how many dyes have already been banned and are being looked at. Yeah, there's a lot of scary stuff sometimes.
You want to talk a little bit about what we've been watching because we have a couple of minutes left. How about gas prices, you guys? They're going up. Look at these numbers because of the war, the ongoing war in Iran. Gas prices right now, $4.10 nationally, according to AAA. The statewide average, $4.34, and in Phoenix, $4.37. I feel like we are so dangerously close to $5.
Yeah, I know we were all really excited when it started to get a little reprieve, and we're hitting the low 3s or the high 3s even, but now seeing over 4. It's rough. But another talkers, of course, the Arizona primary election, which happened on Tuesday. Everything went pretty smooth. And the election officials, I was outside of the Maricopa County Tabulation and Election Center this morning. They're finishing up counting up those votes. And they're already working on the next election, which is the general election, and making sure things will go smoothly. In 2024, it was about an 80% turnout rate, which was among the highest in the country. So they're really preparing because there's a lot of contentious and very close races on the ballot
I think
this year.
the whole United States nationwide is going to be watching what happens
Arizona,
here.
yeah.
I thought I know you were out on this earlier this morning, and I thought what was super interesting was this new way. What they did was when you brought your ballot in and you had an ID, they would actually count it right there. In years past, you'd have to wait if you brought that mail-in ballot in. This was nice.
Yeah, this allowed it to be tabulated on the spot, which really made things go smoothly, and they've been working around the clock. So.
And we got the numbers faster.
Yeah.
And so this is one of the fastest routines that we have really seen.
This is an example of it going how it should. And
amen.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see. Okay, we have an egg recall that we want to tell you guys about. FDA is announcing more than 1.5 million cartons of eggs are being recalled over possible salmonella contamination. So we have white and brown shell eggs that were sold under several brands, including, so listen up, this affects us at home, Kroger, Country Morning, and Simple Truth. They're saying no illnesses have been reported, but don't eat them. Throw them out.
A lot of things to be watching in the grocery store. So take a look at this. A mini horse was rescued in Queen Creek.
This is so cute.
I know. He's found wandering alone on Monday near Santan Boulevard and Ellsworth Road. So I guess a neighbor got the animal out of the street, thankfully, and then called the sheriff's office. And MCSO says the horse was suffering from untreated medical conditions, which is so sad.
Poor baby.
Detectives have located the owner, who was cited for failing to provide medical treatment, and the horse will remain with the vet, depending on what happens to the criminal justice system with the owner.
Okay, I have to go on to something extremely cute. This little baby gorilla. Have you seen this video?
Well, I saw it was like a weather cool-off video, and I'm like, we could use that.
Is that not I know, right? That the cutest thing, baby gorilla can be seen enjoying a stream from a water hose. This is in Fort Worth, Texas, the Dallas area. They basically were like, hey, it's 108 there, and so we're just going to keep everyone cool. And this little guy just had a good old time with it. They have their shade, and of course they have cooled indoor spaces, but I think he was just having so much fun.
I could watch this on loop.
I know.
So much fun cooling off.
I know. You kind of just want to leave it up. We have about a minute, so what we're going to do, you guys, is talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about on Monday.
Yes. Okay.
So we have former Mexican cartel kingpin Ishmael El Mayo Zambada will be scheduled to be sentenced to life in prison in Brooklyn federal court.
Okay, it's also going to be the final week of the Tour de France. I know a lot of people will be watching that. A lot of people, even if you're not into biking, a lot of people.
I didn't even know it was happening because of FIFA.
Yeah. A lot of world sports going on.
It's going to be hot, and so we're going to leave you with this adorable video. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Don't go hiking. Don't go outside in the heat of the day. We want to see you guys back here Monday. Thank you, Ronnie.
All right, Des, let's do this. Hold on. There we go. It's so hot here. Let's go someplace that, even though it's also in the south, probably not 116 today. It's Dean's shot of the day. It is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'll bet you that camera is somewhere around the old state capitol.
Yeah, that looks nice. It doesn't look 116 degrees there.
I only drove through there once on the way between New Orleans and Houston, and I didn't stop, but I would love to explore that town. And, of course, LSU, one of the famous colleges of the South, is right there.
Purple and gold.
They're going to be starting with Lane Kiffin, one of the more controversial college head coaches, starting his new tenure there after flying the coop at Ole Miss.
Oh.
Okay, so anyway, we are going to make it through. 116 today, 116 tomorrow. Then it's going to come down a little bit.
Thank goodness, right?
Yeah.
We were out at State Farm Stadium for most of the morning.
It looked like you had so much fun there.
Oh, it was great. But as soon as we stepped out from the stadium, it was like your skin instantly, you could feel the heat.
Right?
So just be careful if you're outside today.
I think that at 10, we had Crystal visiting with us right off the top at the 10 a.m. And I think at 10 a.m. she said it was 105.
Oh, yeah. Well, at the start of the 5 o'clock this morning, it was 100 degrees.
I know. So. We had a weather forecaster here many years ago, and what he told me has actually proved true over the years. He says, you just take that 10 a.m. temp and you add 10 degrees, and that will be your high for the day. And so that would mean 115, and we're saying 116.
Yeah, that makes sense. No.
Anyway, I mean, I always feel sorry for people their first summer here. I'll never forget my first summer here because it's long and it's hot. And I just remember thinking, if I could just make it to September. The very first day of September, that was 1982, was 110. I'm like, so it's still, you don't get the relief in September. Sometimes
not quite September 1st, right?
Do you have any memories from your first summer here?
Well, it was that COVID year. So January 2020, we moved here.
You started. Okay.
I had my son in March of 2020. Yeah. So we were like enjoying baby bliss. And, yeah.
Right.
So I don't remember it being all that brutal. Though.
It's hard to imagine D3 as a baby because he's grown up so fast now.
I know. He really is like my benchmark of when we, made Arizona home. Yeah. Like he's now 6. That's great. Pretty cool.
Hey, so whether you are going to stick around town this weekend or not, it is important. I thought maybe we could just mention it one more time that Salvation Army is doing their part. They're opening these cooling centers. And here's, for example, one of them right here. The temps are hot, and there are definitely going to be people that are going to get overheated. So they've opened up 10 relief stations across the valley today with free water, a place to cool down. They just opened at 11 o'clock. As you say, we're getting already up toward that 110, and they'll be open until 5 in the afternoon. And they're not alone. The county has opened more than 250 of these cooling centers. So we're doing what we can to get through the heat and just make sure that everybody is taken care of.
Absolutely, yeah. What a great resource they are for those in the community that do need.
Yeah,
those resources.
We think of the Salvation Army at Christmas time, but they're here all year round. They're doing great things for our community, so it's really great. Now, the thing about it is, if you are going to maybe you're going to hop in the car and drive up to Flagstaff or up to Pine Top or Prescott or Payson or any of them, just so you know, hang on, I'm going to punch up graphic 1 here, gas prices. Let's see. The national average is back above $4. We talked about that. I think we crossed that about a week ago. But boy, our Phoenix prices, we were down in the 3s, Des. And I remember seeing the gas station here. There's a Circle K about 3 blocks from us at 7th and Roosevelt. And I remember when it went up 20 cents in one day.
Yeah. That's brutal.
And I'm like, come on. Now the average here is $4.37. And it's kind of potluck if you're going to be out traveling around. In some areas, you'll find lower prices than here in the valley. And in some spots, you're going to find higher. So.
Yeah, I still think the best gas hack is to, if you can, manage to do it, like a Costco or a Sam's Club type membership. Because it does make a difference when we see prices get this high. If you can, afford that membership or even find that membership on sale. Sometimes, those deals are out there too. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I suppose by the way, we're about 60 seconds from having a doc come and join us. Come on over here, Doc. If you are, trying to figure out where to go to cool off, it's a drive. But it was cold and rainy. It almost looked like hail, Des, in Colorado yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, I wish it was a quicker drive.
I'm going to let you say that.
Huh?
I'm going to let you say that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying, because you all make fun of me when I say it. You're like, that's
the hail?
Yeah.
No, all you got to do is make
what's
it
your accent?
You just have to make it 2 syllables instead of 1. How do you
we
pronounce
practice
it again?
All the time. I don't know, because now I'm not going to be able to say
Come on. It's okay. Hail.
It's hail?
Yeah. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Anyway, whether it was rain or hail, that's what was happening up in the
foothills. Either way, that looks refreshing.
Yeah, that's apparently a really nice suburb of Denver called Evergreen, and it looked like a nice place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have the doc joining us now. This is so great because it's Maddox with Banner Health Orthopedic, he's an orthopedic surgeon, joining us with a look at the knee.
Yeah.
Right? You brought a knee with you? Good morning.
Spare
Thanks for
parts are here
joining
you
us.
guys, right?
Yeah.
Some spares in.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I've been with Honor Health a few years now. It's been a really great relationship, and I appreciate you inviting me on the show.
Good.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in. So we kind of sparked our interest in the topic because we were reading a story on our newscast about a week ago that said there's a study out, or there's maybe some things out there that getting knee surgery may not be as beneficial or as good as just continuing on with physical therapy throughout life. So what is your take on that?
No, that's a really interesting study. It was a Finnish study that they did probably in like 2007 to 2013. They took about 150 people. And what they did is now they're a very specific subset. So in other words, when you have meniscus tears, there's different types of cartilage tears. And for that patient group, it was called a degenerative tear. So it's kind of over time, our parts start to wear down. And so it was a set where people had degenerative cartilage tears, but not really any arthritis. Arthroscopy I've been doing it for about 40 years now. Arthroscopy, it's evolved a lot. And what they were finding is that for patients specifically with not really arthritis, but a degenerative meniscus tear, if they did arthroscopy, they didn't see any real benefit from that.
Now, you brought a sample knee with you. Tell us what you're really talking about.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can maybe...
Go ahead and just hold it up kind of right in front of your face. Don't let it bother you there. There you go. Okay.
So in the knee, you have the meniscus. That's this little blue pad in there. People call it the shock absorber. Mm-hmm. But it's a fibrocartilage. In other words, it's not, it's kind of like a gristle type tissue. Now what the meniscus does, it does really 3 things. It helps stabilize the knee so it doesn't move around, because if you look, the femur is kind of round and the tibia is flat. So think about putting a ball on a table. Mm-hmm. And so that meniscus keeps this ball kind of centered, and also it helps to distribute load. So the shock absorber part is really support. So if you put the ball inside of a donut, for instance, it helps to get that load distributed. Mm-hmm. But if you tear the donut or something, all that pressure goes right onto the ball. So think about doing a push-up. You put your hand flat. Well, try to do the push-up on your knuckle. How much harder is that? So all that pressure has changed because of the distribution of load. But anyway, on the study, what the issue was is they were finding that patients that specifically have this degenerative meniscus tear did about the same, or sometimes worse if they had the arthroscopic surgery. So I was telling some people is that one of the things I do, I spend a lot of time actually talking people out of surgery.
Really? Oh, really?
Yeah, because certain subsets we know just don't do well, and that's because that study. So that study involved more middle age, so 50 and above. So if you're the athlete playing pickleball or baseball or whatever, and you have a meniscus tear, the meniscus tear. I don't know if you see that with it, but there's
let's
different
take a
types.
look there. Go ahead, hold it up.
Is this like different degrees of a tear?
So there's different types of tears. So there's like this degenerative tear, and then we have pieces where there's a flap in there with it. It's kind of like a ball bearing in the transmission. So if there's a piece that's torn that's getting stuck in the joint, and you're a young active athlete, that does not apply to the study. So it's a very specific subset. So the key thing is, for me, is like I have patients come in their 50s and 60s, and we're very active, right? And everybody's playing pickleball and you name it, hiking. And so they come in and they've had an MRI and it says, well, you've got a meniscus tear. And so their thinking is, well, we just need to do surgery to fix it. And the answer is not really. I mean, there's a lot of patients to do just as well with therapy, medication. Some of the new injections like biologics are out there. They're still a little controversial, but there's many treatments before surgery. And it's hard to sell that as a surgeon. That's my job.
You're talking to yourself out of work.
I know. I'm losing my job here.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's kind of, but we really want, I mean, that data is out there, and we've learned that. So I think the key thing for us is just letting our patients know, what is your goal? What are you trying to get to? I mean, for the Finnish study, honestly, in Finland, your number one sport, walking. So that's not really the same as here. So you've got to put that whole together with the patient. I have a patient like, what do you want to do? I want to play golf. Another one says, I want to run the trails, or I want to play pickleball all the time. So, you have to kind of tailor that treatment to what their needs are.
What their needs are, their age.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So one of the questions that I'm curious about is, you've had the pain. How do you know? I mean, I guess you're going to go see a specialist, but how do you know that kind of pain, whether it is serious enough, because you certainly do operations. I'm sure you do them all the time, but we have a break coming up, so do you mind sticking with us for about 2 more minutes?
Absolutely, yeah, be happy to. Yeah.
All right, so that's coming up. Also in the next half hour, we have another doctor. This time it's about how our thumbs are getting to be more painful all the time because we're on our phone texting all the day.
Uh-oh.
Come on now. We got it all covered.
Plus your mystery cam right here. Get your guesses in, you guys, and we'll reveal the answer on the other side of the break.
All right, Des, we're kind of up in hill country here. We're not able to see too much of the city, only the upper floors of a couple of buildings. But
Yeah,
those
we're high
hills, I'm like, oh, I can see. Louis is out there. Faithful, one of our all-time great viewers, Louis, is saying Tennessee. But you know what? Brandon is guessing every day as well, and he says Kentucky. And there's Lil philosophy. Give me West Virginia for the win. So what do you think? And Linda says North Carolina.
Yeah, I'll go, sure. Low philosophy, you were the first one to guess. I'll go West Virginia.
Okay. And I think I'm going to go North Carolina. I like that as a possible guess. Doc, you're a world traveler. Where do you think that is?
It's greener than here. That's all I can do.
Right.
Which would be about 49 other states. All right.
Greener,
So,
looks cooler.
what do you think, Des?
Okay. Oh, my. Wait, what was your guess?
North Carolina.
Okay. We're both wrong.
Oh.
It's Franklin, Tennessee.
Is it really?
So, okay.
Our former Nashville resident.
Yeah. I
Good.
guess I've never seen Franklin from quite that view, so I wouldn't have guessed. I didn't get that.
Kidding. I stayed at a Courtyard by Marriott, I think, once in Franklin, Tennessee, but it was right on the freeway. I didn't go into town. So that was my mistake.
Yeah,
I was
lacking character a little bit.
Yeah, too big of a hurry to get to Nashville.
Yeah.
Wanted to see the Country Music Hall of Fame. Hey, we do continue here for the next couple of minutes with Dr. Matt Maddox. How can you tell if the pain in your knee is something you can work through or you need to, maybe seek help?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, you can try some of the usual home remedies just to see how you feel, just some relative rest, maybe an over-the-counter medication like an anti-inflammatory. But if you're developing sharp pain that's really interfering with your function, or you feel any kind of catching, locking, also night pain. If you're having pain at night, that's kind of a red flag for me. If somebody comes in, man, it's keeping me from sleeping, then you definitely want to be seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this study, as you're saying, I mean, we all were like, really? Is that possible? Although I remember I have a friend who got shoulder surgery, and we're driving to a Washington Husky football game last year during football season. We're just chatting. He's like, I had this thing a year ago. I can't tell if it's any better. Yeah. That's the kind of thing you want to avoid.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's where, really being very specific about what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, really collaborating with your patient. So, what are you trying to accomplish? What are we seeing, and what we really can expect on an outcome? Because, certain ones can have more challenging outcomes. They may not always have a great result, but we try to give them as much of the percentages as, so they can make a decision. Because, as most of the surgeries aren't really emergency. It's more an elective type thing. But I think just, giving them all the data and say, okay, here, are you trying to get you want to go back to running and you've got severe arthritis in your knee, that's probably not going to be reasonable to do, but let's get you on the bike, let's get you on the elliptical, we can still do other things, there's other treatments. So, specifying treatment and, being clear on outcomes.
Yeah, change in routine for people, I'm sure, is a tough pill to swallow. So you being in this field for as long as you have, if you can just leave us with maybe some good advice to help take care of our knees, take care of our joints.
Well, I think the biggest thing I would recommend is moderation is the key. We always everybody wants to push the limits on things, and which is great for my business, but it's not good for your body. And so, I mean, just being prudent with activities. I mean, simply walking a half hour a day, can really, provide you with some good exercise, plus mental health with that too. So I would say listen to your body. Don't go extreme things. When the latest, new fad comes out, like the insanity workout, don't be the first one to jump into that.
No.
First in your neighborhood.
Stay away from that.
Okay.
Know your limits, right?
Yeah, that's right. Be prudent.
Hey, you're our favorite orthopedic surgeon. How about that? Come back and see us again for future episodes.
My pleasure. Yeah, thanks again for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming on.
Just sit tight for a second there, Doc. We're going to introduce another doctor.
Yeah,
it's
look at that.
Doctors on Parade today, and this time it's Dr. Jake Doc, how do you say your last name?
Tramutolo.
Say it one more time.
Tramutolo.
Just
I
like it's
like
spelled.
that.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is so great. We're covering various aspects of the body.
Yeah.
Today we're going to go straight to the thumb. Let's talk about it, okay?
Yeah, let's do that. So we were talking about another study that came out. We're all on our phones doing a lot of this, gaming. What's going on with our thumbs?
Yeah, so thanks for having me on. There's a lot about texting thumb that's come out here recently, and that's the new trendy name for a problem we've known about in medicine for a long time, which is essentially an overuse injury of the thumb and the tendons that surround the area, and that, phones are now the new thing that's causing this problem.
Well, okay, so there are certainly ways to, I don't know if eliminate is the right word, but like, for example, I more and more now, if I'm texting somebody, I try to do speak to text. Now, it can result in some hilarious words that I didn't even intend to be in the text.
iPhone always thinks it's smarter than it really is. Spelling
Right?
things all wrong.
Sure.
So yeah, doctor, what are ways to maybe overcome this? Or if we're not lessening the use of our phone or the time on the games, how do we strengthen our thumbs?
So you've kind of touched the nail on the head with that. Our hands are not meant to text in the way that we need to with our mobile devices, the way things are designed now. And so doing things like, voice text or doing things like, adjusting your posture, maintaining good, ergonomic hold on the finger, using grips can all play a really big role in helping reduce some of the symptoms and some of the pain that we can get with these overuse injuries of the thumb. I think, to, address other things, Dr. Maddox was talking about on the previous segment, stretching, maintaining mobility, dexterity of your fingers plays a really big role in reducing symptoms and limiting those type of symptoms as well.
So are you able to, I know you're on a Zoom right now and it's a pretty tight shot, but can you hold up your thumbs and give us is it as simple as here?
Yeah, what does thumb stretching look like?
Is it as simple as rotating your thumbs? I'm wondering if you can give us a couple of practical moves that we could make that could help.
Yeah. So, to an extent, there is some practicality of just kind of rotating your thumb in that circular motion like you've described. Stretching your thumb, one of the main tendons in play is the tendon that abducts or moves your thumb away from the other fingers. So kind of keeping your hand up like this and stretching your thumb away from the other fingers for 15, 20, 30 seconds at a time, a few times a day can play a role in helping maintain some of that flexibility, maintaining some of that dexterity in the fingers, and helping offload the tendon, which is ultimately the usual problem in this type of situation.
So do you have a whole series of exercises that when people come in to see you, let's talk about the whole spectrum here. I guess on the one hand, some people may need surgery. I don't know. You tell us. But in many cases, are there half a dozen to a dozen types of exercises that can solve most of the cases?
Yeah, this is, overuse in the true sense, like any other part of the body, where if we can get to this early, all it takes are exercises and stretches. I have a series of things like we just kind of demonstrated some of that we'll discuss in clinic. I have, handouts that I can pass along and, information that's pretty readily accessible just through the internet, YouTube, a whole bunch of sources that, patients can access on their own. If that isn't enough, we can lean on things like bracing, ice, heat, topical medications, Tylenol, ibuprofen, used sparingly, can all play a pretty significant role in reducing symptoms. But if this lingers long enough, we can certainly start to delve into the territory of invasive, whether that be injections or ultimately surgeries to fix this problem. And if we can avoid doing those things, we should always avoid trying to do those things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, Dr. Tramutolo, we appreciate your time today. We have to wrap it up and let you go here this morning. But I always got made fun of for my thumbs. And if I can get your quick answer, does thumb shape and flexibility have any relation to thumb health?
Show them, Des.
Because I just showed Ron. Everyone made fun of me in school. My thumbs are like so... Look at how, that's just my thumbs up, but I can really bend back my thumb.
I certainly don't think it's worth making fun of, but you do have flexible thumbs. I think it's one of those ones that we all have natural, differences in our range of motion, and those who have a little bit more natural flexibility or a little less natural flexibility, it can sometimes lead towards, changes in the way that we move and ultimately symptoms that we can have in those parts of our body.
Sure.
All
right. Thank you.
Thanks, Doc. Check them out there at ASMC. Hey, speaking of sports medicine, Des, Let's talk sports.
Yeah, let's do it. It's training camp day.
It's training camp day, and you were out there, and man, it looked like you guys were having so much fun.
Oh my
Check
gosh.
it out.
It's a blast. Look at this, you guys. The stage is set for training camp here at State Farm Stadium. We are so excited. Fans are so excited, right? We're glad football season is beginning, and there is so much fun to be had this season as we kick off the start of training camp today, you guys. And we're here this morning with Mark Dalton. He's the Vice President of Media Relations here for the Cardinals. You're in your 26th season?
23.
23.
Yes, but if you look, you'll see one or two gray hair that I didn't have.
I don't see
No,
any.
it's the lighting that Juan has here. Yes.
Right? How excited are you? How
Oh my God,
excited is
we're
the
so
team?
fired up. I mean, today's the first day for fans to come in, enjoy practice, get a good look at the team for the first time, new coaching staff, new players, first-round pick Jeremiah Love. We can't wait for them to get out here. I think the biggest thing we sell is it's free. Free to park, free admission.
Right.
You have to download digital tickets at the Cardinals website, azcardinals.com/camp. But once you're in here, it's going to be about 116 outside, a nice 71 or 72 inside.
I know, it feels incredible in the dome here. So thank goodness for this reprieve, right, for so many folks that are coming out. And yes, they have to go online and reserve the tickets, but you guys are actually letting families reserve up to
Up
how
to
many?
6. Yep,
That's
up
quite
to
a
6 per
bit. That's
person.
nice.
And really, this is targeted, Desiree, for families, for young kids. It's a chance for them to see the team, see the stadium if they've never been here, and not just watch the practice, but as we are standing here on the South Bridge, you can see we've got the kids zone. So if you get tired of watching a little bit of practice and you want to burn off a little energy, come on up to the South Bridge. This is also where you can sign up for the kids autograph session after practice.
Okay.
So make sure if you're coming with your family, stop by the South Bridge. And as you are about to show us, we've got the quarterback
You
toss.
have to set. You got to set
All right,
the stage for us.
I'll be
You've
the
been
before, you be the
practicing.
after. Okay.
What is this setup for the kids
This is the quarterback toss. We'll follow it over to the 40-yard dash, and then we'll be setting up a field goal kicking. But
Okay.
let's try one.
I was asking Mark, well, what's your technique? What are your pointers here? Look at that.
Okay. I would just use your right-handed, so use your left arm, square like that, left arm to sort of guide you, and then follow through.
All right, here we go. Oh,
No,
I was
one more.
A
that
little
was
short. Maybe I should go for the middle.
Use this ball.
It's the ball. It's the
Oh
ball.
boy.
Here we go.
I don't get it, you guys.
That is good.
Oh, almost. For that time.
One more.
If you're headed out to training camp, have a great time.
See you Monday.